Hey everyone, Nick here with the Best Buy blog. Today we're looking at a portable keyboard from the Casiotone line, the CT-S1 by Casio. First thing you'll notice is the really nice red color. It's pretty flashy, but if you're not into that, you can also pick a white model or a black model. On the panel on the back, there's a few connections. First of all, there's an input for a sustain pedal. There's no sustain pedal included, but if you have one, you'll be able to use it with this keyboard. By the way, in the package, you obviously get the power adapter and also a music rest to hold your music while you play. There's also an audio in jack, so you can play music from, let's say, a CD player or an iPod. It's really useful if you have, audio tracks, maybe songs or backing tracks that you want to practice with. There's also an audio out or a headphone jack. This is useful obviously for silent practice, but you can also plug this keyboard into a PA system and in a bigger amplifier system than the built-in speakers. There's also some digital USB inputs and outputs, so you can use a flash drive or transmit data to a computer. You can only transmit MIDI information. There's no audio going through these ports, but that means that you can basically use the keyboard with a computer as a controller, so you can control external sound banks. Yeah, that's it for the connections. The keyboard is not technically Bluetooth compatible, but Casio sells an adapter that you can plug into the digital ins to stream music wirelessly from your smart devices or MIDI information. You can actually use the Cordana Play app, which is Casio's learning app. In this app, you can learn a bunch of songs with the sheet music, and you can play with the sheet music at the same time. And then you can change the tempo, slow it down, speed it up. You can repeat sections, and you can even transpose. So let's say a song you like is in a key that you're not comfortable with. Well, you can transpose it to, let's say, C major, which is only with white keys, or A minor. Anyway, it's a little trick to make things a bit easier for beginners. So we have 61 keys. These are light keys, like organ or synth keys. If this is your first piano type instrument and you're going to take lessons, maybe talk to your teacher about that. There's a lot of teachers that insist on heavy keys. It's not that light keys are bad. They're really useful for different sounds like organs and synthesizers, but the heavy keys are good to develop technique, so when you go on an acoustic piano, you're not surprised by the weight of the keys. There's 61 different sounds, which isn't that much compared to some other models, even in the same price range. But you'll hear them later. They sound pretty good. They cover a lot of ground, like regular pianos, electric pianos, organs, synths. There's others too, like strings and stuff like that. You'll hear more of that a bit later. Right on the main panel, you can access 35 different sounds, but if you want to access the whole range of different sounds that this keyboard has, you actually have to hold down a button and press one of the keys. It's not the fastest way or the easiest way to navigate a keyboard, but this is what happens on this type of model where there's no screen and a limited amount of buttons. Last thing about the keys also is that they're touch responsive, which means that if you play hard, the sound's going to be louder, and if you play soft, well, the sound's going to be softer. This is really important. Some entry-level keyboards don't have this feature. It's really important because it develops your sensibility to dynamics and nuance. It's a big part of music, so it's good to have on this keyboard. So here are a few sound examples so you know what this keyboard sounds like. pretty cool feature on this keyboard is that on both edges, on both sides of the keyboard, there's strap pins, so you can use, let's say, a guitar strap and, you know, play in a seated position without a desk or a stand, and just put it on your thighs and have that strap as, you know, a little safety so that the keyboard doesn't slide. You know, this is a really cool option that's not, you know, really common. And it makes me think that maybe some more advanced players might want to check out something like this, especially if they're people that travel a lot. You know, they might end up in hotel rooms and, you know, just like in any kind of situation, but they still have time and they want to practice, you know, scales, chords, repertoire, maybe work on some musical ideas. This keyboard is super light. It's very convenient to travel with, and plus with the strap system, well, you know, you have more options to use it in you know, any sort of conditions. That being said, this keyboard is mainly aimed towards beginners and younger players. It's really an entry-level keyboard. I think it's a good choice to start out with because, you know, there's not a lot of options. It's affordable, and the fact that there's not a lot of options means there's just less distractions. You know, you have basically every sound you're gonna need, like the piano, electric piano, organs, stuff like that. You have like basic sounds, and from, you know, my point of view, they sounded pretty good as you heard in the demos. So it's, you know, it's not a big investment if you're not sure if you're gonna, you know, enjoy piano that much, but at least you can try it out with good sounds. And for the rest, after that, well, you can pick, you know, whatever keyboard fits your needs at that point. So I think it's going to interest a lot of the beginners, especially with the stylish look. I mean, it's just fun to look at. And maybe, you know, more experienced players that need a practice tool, or maybe they need a little keyboard to carry with them while they give lessons or something like that. I actually wrote a full-length review that goes into detail about this keyboard. You can find it on Best Buy's blog. My name is Nick. Thank you so much for watching.